What's going on, guys? The sun is out, the clouds are out, and the cicadas are out. But in front of us, you were looking at our 2023 GMC Denali half-ton pickup truck with the 3-liter LZO Duramax diesel engine. I get asked all the time, what type of dash camera do you install inside of your vehicles? Today, we're going to talk about the dash camera that we recently installed, which is this really cool VanTrue N4 Pro camera. We're going to go over the details, the specs. I think you're going to enjoy this video. Hang tight. I'll be right back. Okay, so in front of you, you were looking at the new VanTrue N4 Pro dash camera. So there's a lot of cool things going on here, and this is going to be a huge upgrade over what we have inside of our 2023 GMC Denali. Again, I kind of wish General Motors would just put a dash cam system built in, but they don't. So you have to look at these, which is always kind of tough because there's a lot of different brands on the market, and you always want to try to find one that's going to be reputable, long-lasting, and value-oriented, where you're going to get what you pay for. VanTrue certainly qualifies for all of those because they build a very, very high-quality camera system. They put in the right technology, and more importantly, it's designed for a hot environment or even a cold environment that your vehicle can be subjected to in the cold winter months or the super, super hot summer months. Speaking of which, it's a 114-degree heat index here in South Texas right now. With this camera, they sent a 64-gigabyte micro SD card, and this is actually a VanTrue branded micro SD card, so that's kind of cool. Also a VanTrue circular polarizer. So this will actually go on the front of the camera lens, and it acts as a polarizer for the lens, similar to what you might get on a professional, like a DSLR. So that is really cool that they offer things like this. We're going to unbox this, we're going to go over the specs, and then we're going to install it in our GMC pickup truck. Now, before we go any further, I do have to give a big shout out to the folks over at VanTrue for sponsoring this video. My relationship goes back a long ways. I mean, when my channel was first kicking off, VanTrue was one of the very, very first companies that provided me a dash cam to review. And they hold a special place in my heart because of it. But it is really cool to see kind of the next generation of the VanTrue dash camera. So the N4 Pro is what we're going to be unboxing. This looks like it's going to be our rear view camera. It is. This is going to be your primary dash camera. That is a heck of a lens they have on the front of this. This piece right here is going to rotate. So whenever you have the interior camera on, because this is going to be a forward and driver facing camera or interior facing camera, you can rotate this one for the best possible angle. You have your controls down here on the bottom. And then you have your power button right here on the side, as well as your emergency lock button. This is likely going to be your wiring harness and the accessories. That's your 12-volt adapter. This is used to tuck the wire in behind panels. It'll dock in here by sliding into this mount. So I believe it'll go in like this. Oh, that's cool. And I think it's magnetic. Yeah, that's magnetic. So it slides in right here magnetically, and it's a strong hold. That's not going to come off. And then here is a USB-C to USB-C for the rear view camera. This is really nice because most rear view cameras have like a proprietary style connection. You can see this camera also rotates. So once you have this adhered to the back, you can rotate it down and get the proper angle as well. On the side here where your power button is, you're just going to pop this little lid back. It's magnetically held in place. Like I said, very creative, and it's concealed, and you really don't know it's there unless you know it's there. And then we're going to slip the micro SD card in. There we go. So everything is in place. We're going to keep the little screen protector film on and this one on until we are ready to remove them, which means we'll have the whole thing installed. Okay, so before we get this installed in the truck, let's talk about some of the specs. So first of all, the forward-facing camera is a 4K HDR camera. The cabin-facing camera is a 1080p. The rear view camera is also 1080p. It uses Sony Starvis 2 sensors, which is really nice. HDR recording, which is basically its ability of making the definition and clarity a lot better. Wide view angling. It has a 3.19 IPS LCD screen on this side. Voice control, supports 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi. You can also app control it as well. It has a GPS logger. It has buffered motion detection, collision detection, uses low bitrate parking mode, so it can actually capture movement and things like that in a parking lot, which is really nice. Adjustable parking monitor zone as well, which is cool. Magnetic assist mounting, which we showed you right here. Super capacitor. Instead of using a battery, it uses a capacitor, which can withstand far more extreme temperature fluctuations, and that's one of the reasons why this is a little safer and a little bit more reliable if you're going to be using it like down here in South Texas, where it gets incredibly hot, especially inside of a vehicle, and that gives it that extreme temperature protection, as well as the CPL filter, which is optional. So this is really cool that they're going to give you a circular polarized filter with it as well if you want to option for that. Put a little bit of glass cleaner up here. I'm going to use the included wipe. I'm going to wipe it down. Okay, this is going to go right about here. I want to really position it about as high as practical. So I want to try to make sure I square it up exactly where I want it. Just like that. That is perfect. Okay, so real quick, I wanted to show you how I'm routing the wire. This is going to be the USB-C wire that goes to the back camera. I have it going up. I just shoved it underneath here, ran it to the edge. I had to loosen this top bolt so I could get enough space on the inner part of this to feed the wire through here around on this side of the airbag. You don't want it on that side of the airbag up here, because if it deploys, it'll probably rip the whole thing out, or it could possibly prevent it from deploying properly. It's ran right here on the bottom edge, all the way up here. I went around here by pushing this up, going around. It comes out the bottom, or it comes out the back right there, all the way to the back side. And this is where I'm at with it right now. So it's going to run all the way over here. It's going to go back behind here. It's going to come across the back upper headliner and drop down right to where that piece of foam is right there, that tape that held on the old camera. Okay, so I have a USB-C that's plugged into a quick charging connection, which is plugged into a power strip, which is plugged into the truck's 110 outlet, since this truck doesn't have any 12-volt outlets. Let's go and plug it into the side of the mounting station up here, which feeds power to the camera. I see that a light has come on. Go ahead and press the power button on the side. That is a very nice wide screen. Okay, we are set up. The back camera isn't showing on the screen right now, but I'm sure I could probably change that. Okay, so now we have the back camera on. You can see right here, it's your front camera, your back camera, and then your forward camera. And you can toggle through the various camera modes by doing it that way. That is really cool. Okay, so we have everything set up. So you can see we have 4K recording out of the front, we have 1080p on the interior of the vehicle, and then we have 1080p out the back of the vehicle. So you have 3 cameras on here, which is super cool. You can also see it has satellite or GPS built into it as well. So whenever you link to it, you can actually kind of see where you've been, which is pretty dang awesome. This also supports Wi-Fi, which is really nice. It has what's called the Starvis 2 IMX 678 night vision sensor. So this system is supposed to see much, much better at night and record footage much, much better in the darkness. That's huge, because if you don't have good footage at night, what's the point, right? A lot of accidents happen at night, especially intersections and things like that. So it's really nice that this has such a night-capable lens that's built into it. Now, one thing I just did was I installed the polarized lens filter on the front of it. So we'll definitely see how well this functions, but it just screws right on, just like if you had like a professional camera. So there we go. We are approaching golden hour, and it's going to be getting dark soon. We'll be able to really check this thing out, and I will give you like a comprehensive review of this thing after we've had it for a while, once I get the new cable installed on it as well, so I can clean it up and I don't have a cable running behind my mirror. Now, if you're interested in this camera, I will put a link in the description of this video. Go check it out. The original price of this camera is like $379.99. It's being discounted to $299.99. It's part of the Lightning Deal and Prime discount going on July 16th through 17th from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really impressed with the quality of this camera. I've been impressed, honestly, with the quality of all VanTrue cameras. They perform really well, they last a long time, and they work great in the South Texas heat that we get. And to have all 3 channels available to you for front, rear, and interior viewing is great. Plus, the night vision feature, you know, again, it's not absolutely true night vision, but it does work very well, and you can see very well at night in the dark, and that's going to be important if you ever need to pull footage from it. Anyways, guys, I sure hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again very soon.